Okay, we have to get to another extremely troubling bit of news. This was flagged for us by friend of the show, Josh Rogan. So let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. This is WSU Insider. What it shows is that WSU is to lead a $125 million USAID project to detect emerging viruses. Now, this is important because USAID is a branch of the State Department. It's the International Development Agency of the U.S. State Department, which greenlights aid granting projects all across the world. Africa, Ebola, all of that. This is within the USAID Discovery and Exploration of Emerging Pathogens, or so-called Deep VZN project. VZN standing for Viral Zoonoses. For all of those virologists out there, I'm sorry for my pronunciation. Now, why does this matter? Now, you might remember that detect emerging viruses is code for gain of function research. And actually, when you lead and read even deeper within this press release, they are announcing this grant to dig up 8,000 to 12,000 novel viruses all over the world, including those like SARS-CoV-2, aka coronavirus, including in China. So essentially, we have learned nothing. The $100,000 grant or whatever to EcoHealth Alliance for gain of function research, I think it was $200,000. This is $125 million for digging up 8 to 12,000 novel viruses all over the world in order to protect us against them, because they're going to go out, discover the virus, so supposedly create a cure, although how the hell did that work out this time? And then we'll all be safer, or so they say. There's no oversight on this, Krystal. There's no congressional outcry. From what I can tell, he's the only person who even flagged this thing. And here you have a university literally bragging about it. I mean,
Yeah, I think that's the part that really,
it's out in the open.
Really shows you that nothing has been learned, is that, first of all, yeah, this barely got noticed.
Totally.
Second of all, they're proud of it.
Yeah, they're like, Washington, this is a big coup for Washington State. I'm like, go whatever their mascot is, okay, like.
And I've long said, like, look, it's not definitive that it leaked from the lab, but evidence continues to mount. And
yes,
even if you're not sure, it's clearly a possibility that it leaked from the lab, and we know that lab leaks occur all the time. So the fact that, like, I don't even think we need to know definitively that it came from the lab for there to be a major rethinking of safety in science. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And I haven't seen any of that conversation publicly. I don't see it happening within, I see it in some corners of the scientific community, but clearly not enough to break through to mainstream press coverage. Like, this should be a major topic of conversation for the public, for members of Congress, so that we can come to some idea and some consensus about what is actually safe moving forward, given the lessons that we've learned from this entire experience. And none of that has obviously occurred.
This is just terrifying the more that you learn about the details. Let me read this quote. The project will focus on finding previously unknown pathogens from 3 viral families, have large potential for viral spillover from animals to humans. Coronaviruses, the family that includes SARS-CoV-2, such as Ebola virus, I can't pronounce this one, paramoxyviruses, which include viruses that cause measles and Nipah. So Ebola, one of the deadliest viruses known to man, measles, one of the worst plagues that humanity ever had to suffer under, and now coronavirus, the worst pandemic that we've had in about 100 years. The goals are ambitious, they say, to collect 800,000 samples in 5 years of the project, most of which will come to wildlife, then detect whether viruses from the families are present in the samples. When they are found, the researchers will determine the zoonotic potential of the virus or the ability to transfer from animals to humans. And all of this, like I said, they are digging up, doing research on, screening and sequencing now the genomes of the ones that are going to pose the most risk to animals and human health. What's the safety protocol? Do we have any oversight of this whatsoever? Why is the Biden administration greenlighting a $125 million grant to this project? I think what this goes to show is that the fact that this was moved through the bureaucracy, and I'm not saying I blame Biden or whatever for like explicitly being like, go out and fund this.
Yeah.
Somewhere up the chain, somebody has to check a box. And the fact that somebody in the State Department, somebody at the White House, the National Security Council, someone, somewhere, this is how bureaucracy works, had to look at this and just say, okay, that it did not even enter their head. Hey, where they got this deadly pandemic, right now, mounting evidence. I mean, in fact, if you were to look at both sides of the scale and say natural origin versus lab leak origin, it's overwhelmingly on the lab leak side.
Yeah.
And you don't even think, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this. And here's the worst part. Congress is heads are so far up, where. They're following about reconciliation. They're, January 6th, they're still issuing subpoenas. Every day I read about subpoenas being issued to Steve Bannon. I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna crack the case. I cracked the case. Trump said we're gonna go down to the Capitol, and they did it. The end of the story. You need more of a commission? It's over. There were also some feds involved. Maybe get to the bottom of that one. And down here in this one, we should be having a serious, robust oversight commission. There are, from what I can tell, 3 people in Congress who are actually concerned about this. The only one I respect in any way is Mike Gallagher, who is the congressman from Wisconsin. He is not taking much more of a partisan view of this and is actually trying to get to and block gain-of-function research. Rand Paul, we all know why Rand Paul is doing what he's doing. That doesn't mean I don't respect it in terms of questioning Fauci and more. But everybody else in Congress, they just want to go after Fauci. That's it for a pandemic restriction. And okay, I get it. I also can't stand Fauci. But now you're in the realm of partisan politics. Nobody's having a serious discussion about whether this is okay or not. It's increasingly clear where I think coronavirus came from, how it came about, and the government, the U.S. government, had a very big role in how all that came to play. We were the leaders and pushers and funders of gain-of-function research. And now they're doing the exact same thing, Krystal, $125 million grant to this project, including in China. I would love to know if the Wuhan lab is going to be a recipient. I wouldn't even put it past them at this point to funnel money back to the lab. Be like, oh, Dr. She's a great virologist. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
We're Bat Lady. She's the Bat Lady.
If you question it, they'd be like, you're racist.
Yeah, you're a racist. Okay. All right. She calls herself the Bat Lady, by the way, not me.
Yeah, it's just a really depressing state of failure in the country that, there's no way that you could expect. I don't even want to call for congressional panels to discuss
because they won't do anything.
Scientific protocols and safety or anything, because it'd just be some obnoxious shit show of I'm going to own Fauci. I'm going to defend Fauci.
That's right.
And then, you don't ultimately get anywhere. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.